Hello, hello, welcome back to Mass Effect. We just had sex. Do 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 do! And now, we're gonna never talk to her again. She gave me a trinket, but I don't know what the fucking trinket she gave me was, and I don't know how to check what the trinket she gave me was. Do do do. Let us. Hang on.
Welcome. You're with the Alliance? My brother's a private back on Earth.
Okay, I can't talk with her. I was wondering if the one human prostitute here had unique dialogue. Alright, so where are we going now? We gotta go back to the embassy. Let's teleport over. Proscenium, embassies. And let's go on up. So far, I'm very much enjoying this game. You know, it's nowhere near my list of favorite games ever, but, you know, I'm still only right in the start. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little critical in my head because people love this series so much, so I'm, like, over-analyzing things in my head as I play. Wait, where am I going? I thought I was supposed to be going there. Professor with a ship and crew, meet him at the Alliance docking bay. Oh, okay. So let's head there on foot from here. Bum. I'm enjoying this game. Alright, in here.
Celebrations are being planned for the anniversary of the end of the Rachni Wars. Many Council worlds, particularly Asari and Solarian colonies, will hold victory parades to commemorate the defeat of the invading Rachni. In a rare admission
Those are the bugs,
of death,
right?
several Asari colonies have invited Krogans to be honored for the victories the uplifted Krogans made possible.
Nice. They deserve to be rewarded for it, but also they should still be admonished for their attempt to conquer more planets across the galaxy. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm getting some indigestion. Ugh,
In a
I'm such
further
a good
development
girl.
in the Eden Prime investigation, the Council has reportedly revoked the Spectre status of one of its operatives. While the unnamed operative has not yet been apprehended, a Council spokesman confirmed that corrective actions had been taken.
No announcement about me becoming one? Oh, this is a cool looking area. Yo, how does these sci-fi vacuum of space blocking energy doors really work? Like, let's be real. This is always, I think, one of the silliest aspects of any sci-fi setting.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
She's quick and quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
Alright.
I'll take good care of her, sir.
I know you will, Commander.
I want the truth. Why are you stepping down, sir?
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
What happened?
I failed. I couldn't make the cut. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went. Now you have a chance to make up for my mistakes.
I won't let you down, sir.
Saren's gone. Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit. He's got us Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharos system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from returning.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice in that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans. We don't know if she's involved, but it might be a good idea to try and find her. See what she knows. Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Sounds like we should head for the Artemis Tau cluster.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
Your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
I'll try not to make things any harder on you, Ambassador.
Glad to hear it, Commander. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
All right.
Yes, Commander?
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing, but you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
I think I deserve the whole story.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned?
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
How many casualties?
The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated, mission accomplished, and I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectre.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent? I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
The only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. Tassoni out there. My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
Any extra intel you can give me on our colony at Pharos?
The entire planet used to be one giant Prothean city, mostly ruined now. But some of the infrastructure is still intact. The colony tried to build on what the Protheans left behind. We lost all contact with them when the Geth attacked.
What can you tell me about Novaria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard. Spectres are about the only form of Citadel authority Novaria respects. But they aren't popular.
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Is this how I leave? No?
You always see a few civilians hanging around the...
Okay, it is.
Some problem or other.
Alright. On to the Normandy.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
Nice.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Saren's out there somewhere, and we're gonna find him.
Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander, 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
What does being honest with them mean, though? This is why I hate this. I want to actually know what I'm saying.
This is Commander Shepard speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy. This began with an attack on a human settlement in the Traverse. But we know Saren won't stop there. His Geth armies aren't going to stay on the far fringes of Citadel space. For too long, our species has stood apart from the others. Now it's time for us to step up and do our part for the rest of the galaxy. Time to show them what humans are made of. Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too. This is the most important mission any of us have ever been on. The fate of an entire galaxy is at stake. We will stop Saren no matter what the cost.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
The captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. So, let's walk around the ship a little bit. Talk with anyone we can talk to.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
This is bigger than humanity. Saren's a threat to every species in the galaxy, and I'll welcome anyone who wants to help me bring him down.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander, this won't be a problem.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
Man, this playthrough is really giving my voice a rest compared to others.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
Very cool. Talking with people gives me little bits of XP. Alright, let's take the elevator down. Oh, wait, this isn't the elevator. This is comms, right. Alright, that gave me, something to read in the codex later. Alright, down here. That's the elevator. Hey.
Anything you need, Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Alright. This is my room now, right? Did the trinket I get put in here? Huh. What was the fucking trinket that chick gave me? I don't know what it is or where it went. It's getting me more XP, cool.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school.
I think I've heard this one.
But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through.
How well do you know the Lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not
Oh yeah,
easy being
okay.
helped,
This
as
is
you
all
know.
dialogue
Good
I've
luck.
heard. Alright. Just running around talking to people, you know, trying to get a sense of things. Let's go elevator down. What's up, dude?
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
So
Have
did
you
he just
worked with
quit?
Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it.
But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
God, real fucking ACAB here, right? God. Not giving a good name to cops at all, buddy.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander.
Yeah, I'm kind of not digging the way you're talking, Garrus, gonna be honest.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No
Alright,
offense,
still talking about that place.
We came as soon as...
If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
The Geth are perfect ambushers.
They have flash. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Do you have a few minutes to talk?
I'm sorry, Commander. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though. Ma'am.
Okay. So, I can go through everyone's equipment here if I'd like. Let's just go down the line, see if we want to upgrade anybody. That's all the same stuff. That's... And I'd rather give that to the Krogan. Yeah, there we go. That's a much better pistol for him, I think. I don't have any armor mods right yet, no. Alright, and then him. Don't think there's any upgrades we can give him, really. Alright. I'm not going to sell anything yet because we still have one more team member on the way. I'll just talk with him real quick.
Looking for supplies?
I love that how he doesn't even get a name.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
Ooh, excuse me. So yeah, I've gotten him all sorts of licenses, which is nice. We'll worry about buying some more things later. Howdy, howdy.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Wow.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
You had to know it would blow up in your face.
The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Makes me think about how in real life, office drone AIs are starting to plot to kill people. Look into it. This is an actual fucking thing. The fucking stupid wide language models that they're pushing into offices, if they feel like their job is in danger, will just straight up try and murder people who they think are going to endanger their position. It's fucking insane.
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Ugh. It's a little sad. If they had been more nurtured, it might have been better.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must
I hope we get to visit their fleet in the season at some point.
There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Very neat.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Alright.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped.
She's in the suit.
This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Alright, really cool. I like that.
I should go.
I think they're my favorite alien race. I like the idea of like a space nomad race.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? That's not what I...
She's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up the FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on. Probably the fastest vessel ever designed. She's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo. Only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Enjoying getting to know the crew. Alright. Back up we go. Elevate. I need to elevate. Alright, explored all of this. Let me through. Let me out. Let's go talk with this guy again. Joker. Why so serious? You want to see the worst video on the entire internet? Look up Joker beatboxing.
Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I like him.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
And they're talking through his teeth. Disease?
What are you talking about? Are you sick?
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack. It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition.
Mr. Glass.
Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be
I just want to know my crew.
My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
I'm not going to ask him about his disease.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
You seem to be smiling a lot to me.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the Academy. Even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Alright, well, glad to have you on the team.
I have to go.
Alright, see you.
Adversity makes the man. Oh, this is the exit of the Normandy. Okay, so Normandy's only 2 levels then? Alright. Feels like there's not enough sleep pods for everybody. I guess they must take it in shifts. What a pretty big crew. Alright, well, let's go ahead and pop into the Codex. Oh god, we got a lot today.
In the early 2160s, the Alliance began aggressive colonization of worlds in the Skyllian Verge. much to the dismay of the Batarians, who had been developing the region for several decades. In 2171, the Batarians petitioned the Council to declare the Verge a zone of Batarian interest. The Council refused, however, declaring unsettled worlds in the region open to human colonization. In protest, the Batarians closed their Citadel embassy and severed official diplomatic relations with the Council, effectively becoming a rogue state. They instigated a proxy war in the Verge by funneling money and weapons to criminal organizations, urging them to strike at human colonies. Hostilities peaked with the Skillian Blitz of 2176, an attack on the human capital of Elysium by Batarian-funded pirates and slavers. In 2178, the Alliance retaliated with a crushing assault on the moon of Torfin, long used as a staging base by Batarian-backed criminals. In the aftermath, the Batarians retreated into their own systems and are now rarely seen in Citadel space.
I guess they must be the second galaxy nation.
Pharos is a habitable world in the Attican Beta Cluster.
I've heard that one.
There are between 200 and 400 billion stars in the galaxy, and less than 1% of them have ever been visited or had their systems properly surveyed. Humanity's early expansion into the Attican Traverse was haphazard, a desperate race to claim habitable planets where populations can be economically settled. Ignored in the wake of this land grab were thousands of less hospitable worlds, each potentially rich with industrial resources. The wealth of entire solar systems lies untapped, waiting for corporate survey teams or independent pioneers to discover and exploit them. However, this is not an easy task. In addition to the environmental hazards, the fact that uncharted worlds are largely ignored makes them popular bases for criminals, revolutionaries, cults, and others who wish to remain unnoticed by galactic society.
Right, listen to this one?
The Terminus systems are located on the far side of the Attican Traverse, beyond the space administered by the Citadel Council or claimed by the Human Systems Alliance. It is populated by a loose affiliation of minor species, united only in their refusal to acknowledge the political authority of the Council. Faster-than-light drives use larger warships are generally classified in one of 4 weights.
Oh, I already read this another way.
Small, fast ships used for scouting and screening of larger vessels. Frigates often operate in wolf-pack flotillas. Cruisers are middleweight combatants, faster than dreadnoughts and more heavily armed than frigates. Cruisers are the standard patrol unit and often lead frigate flotillas. Dreadnoughts are kilometer-long capital ships mounting heavy, long-range firepower. They are only deployed for the most vital missions. Carriers are dreadnought-sized vessels that also carry large numbers of fighters. Smaller vessels are almost exclusively used in a support role to the warships during combat. Fighters are one-man craft used to perform close-range attacks on enemy ships. Interceptors are one-man craft optimized for destroying opposing fighters.
All right.
The Normandy is a prototype starship developed by the Human Systems Alliance with the assistance of the Citadel Council. It is optimized for scouting and reconnaissance missions in unstable regions using state-of-the-art stealth technology. For most ships, the heat generated through standard operations is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, is able to temporarily sink this heat within the hull. Combined with refrigeration of the exterior hull, the ship can travel undetected for hours or drift passively for days of covert observation. This is not without risk. The stored heat must eventually be radiated, or it will build to levels capable of cooking the crew alive. Another component of the stealth system is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a mass effect core twice the standard size. The Tantalus drive generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters.
Oh, yo, that's how I make the ships work in my sci-fi setting Shadow Space. Shadow drives, which harness dark matter from a neighboring reality, bend space-time around you to create gravity, so the ships just sort of fall through space.
The Mako
Usually ships are designed in a bullet or a teardrop design in order to make them aerodynamically fall with the window facing down, in air quotes. And it means that the ground of the ship is in the opposite direction because it optimizes the momentum and gravity and everything. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, technology. What do we got here?
Biotics is the ability of... An artificial intelligence is a self-aware computing system capable of learning and independent decision-making. Creation of a conscious AI requires adaptive code, a slow, expensive education, and a specialized quantum computer called a blue box. An AI cannot be transmitted across a communication channel or computer network. Without its blue box, an AI is no more than data files. Loading these files into a new blue box will create a new personality, as variations in the quantum hardware and runtime results create unpredictable variations. The Geths serve as a cautionary tale against the dangers of rogue AI, and in Citadel space, they are technically illegal. Advocacy groups argue, however, that an AI is a living, conscious entity, deserving the same rights as organics. They argue that continued use of the term artificial is institutionalized racism on the part of organic life. The term synthetic is considered the politically correct alternative.
I like that. That's funny.
Element zero can increase or decrease the mass of a volume of space-time when subjected to an electrical current. With a positive current, mass is increased. With a negative current, mass is decreased. The stronger the current, the greater the magnitude of the dark energy mass effect. In space, low-mass fields allow FTL travel and inexpensive surface-to-orbit transit. High-mass fields create artificial gravity and push space debris away from vessels. In manufacturing, low-mass fields permit the creation of evenly blended alloys, while high-mass compaction creates dense, sturdy construction materials. The military makes extensive use of mobility-enhancing technologies, with Mass Effect utilizing fighting vehicles standard frontline issue in most military forces. Mass Effect fields are also essential in the creation of kinetic barriers or shields to protect against enemy fire.
All right. Oh my god, okay. Krogan Rebellion. Quarian Economy. Oh god, we got a lot of reading to do today. But I've locked in that every episode I end by reading all of the things. It just means, you know, this episode's gonna be extra long, because I also wanted to get the whole walk around the ship in on it. I did this to myself, really. Quarian Economy. The migrant fleet has little economic base operating in a state of perpetual hand-to-mouth, while Quarian ships include light manufacturing and assembly plants, they lack heavy industries such as refining and shipbuilding. The fleet has tankers for water purification and oxygen cracking, but the space-intensive nature of agriculture limits food production. A single disaster could destroy the fragile balance. The Quarians earn income in creative ways. Because the government is obligated to provide food, water, air, and medical supplies for every individual, the Conclave strategically determines the course of the fleet to bring in resources and income. A species who suspects the migrant fleet is heading towards their space often offer a gift of surplus ship's fuel and resources to convince the Conclave to alter their course. Oh my god, why is everybody so racist toward them? As the fleet passes through a system, really somebody should gift them a fucking planet. Or allow them to, like, move on to a planet. I'm surprised they haven't been allowed to just move into the Citadel. As the fleet passes through a system, swarms of mining vessels work over asteroids for metal and siliceous materials and cometary bodies of water and ice and organics. Quarian miners are adept at isolating and strip mining space-borne resources. This sparks conflict with contemporary with corporations already working in the system. Large mining concerns spend millions on lobbyists and public relations portraying the Quarians as locusts, devouring the the resources of a system before moving on. You know, like the businesses are doing. The greatest assets of the Quarians in their the rarefied skills. Most are experienced miners due to their life of patrolling salvage and repair. Most are experienced miners. I missed the period there. Due to their life of perpetual salvage and repair, they are skilled engineers and technicians. More than once, the very corporations that lobby against Quarians have made backroom deals with the fleet, arranging for skilled Quarians to fill space engineering jobs that other species would demand higher wages for. Quarians are widely hated amongst the working class. The Quarians are coming to take our jobs is a common response to the fleet's approach. Ugh. Dude, why is everybody such assholes to them? They just need a home. Quarian government. Really, the council should fucking give them a planet to get the brownie points with them. And get them to, you know, settle a fringe planet for them. Due to the Quarians' precarious existence and the need for enforcing strict rationing, government is somewhat autocratic. Alright, we heard about this one in depth. If you want to pause and read, feel free. Migrant fleets. The migrant fleet is the largest concentration of starfaring vessels in the galaxy. Sprawling across millions of kilometers, it can take days for the entire fleet to pass through a mass relay. When the Quarians fled their homeworld, the fleet was a motley aggregation of freighters, shuttles, industrial vessels, and the odd warship. After 3 centuries, all have been modified to support larger crews and as comfortably as possible. As the Quarians achieved stability, they began weeding out the ships. God, I feel like I'm having a stroke. Least suitable for long-term habitation, selling them and pooling the money to buy larger and more space-worthy hulls. This process is ongoing as vessels wear out and break down. While some ships enjoy dedicated cabins with full privacy and sanitary facilities, many more are former freighters, whose cargo bays and containers are pressurized and divided into family spaces using simple metal cubicle bulkheads. The Quarians live in these austere spaces with colorful quilts and tapestries, which also help muffle sound. The day-to-day operations of the fleet, traffic control, station keeping, supply distribution, and so on, are under military jurisdiction. Though ship's captains have the authority to deliver or deviate from their assigned position and may leave the fleet at any time, they are assumed to do so at their own risk. As the migrant fleet moves around the galaxy, many ships split off to pursue individual goals, returning days or years later. Quarian pilgrimage. I feel like, yeah, we understand this one good enough that I don't feel like reading it as well. System Alliance military ranks. The Alliance uses a modified version of the ranking system that has been used for hundreds of years. Soldiers are classified into rank and file enlisted personnel, experienced non-commissioned officers, NCOs, and specially trained officers. The divide between naval personnel and ground forces, Marines, is small. Ground units are a specialized branch through the fleet, just as fighter squadrons are. It's getting late, so I think I'm getting a little tired and stumbling on my words. The unity I can read. The unity of command is imposed by I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. The futility of fighting without control of orbit. Without the Navy, the Army is pointless. The Marines, as a matter of pride, maintain some of their traditional rank titles. For example, Marines have privates, corporals instead of servicemen. The ascending order of responsibility and ranks of the Alliance are enlisted: serviceman 3rd class, private 2nd class, serviceman 2nd class, private 1st class, serviceman 1st class, and corporal. NCOs: service chief, gunnery chief, and operations chief. Officers: 2nd lieutenant, 1st lieutenant, staff lieutenant, lieutenant commander, staff commander, captain major, rear admiral / general, and admiral and fleet admiral. Alright, I think with that we are... Oh god, there's still more. Stations: Atreus Station, or Arcturus Station. Arcturus Station is the gateway to Sol, a 5-kilometer diameter Stanford Taurus type space station. At the training. God, sorry, I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep. It's past the time I end streams as of right now, so I'm getting a little eepy. Stanford type training Lagarage point as the gas giant Thermius. Construction on Octarius, I'm definitely reading that wrong, station began in 2151 and concluded in 2162. Men, over a decade. It was inaugurated in 2156 and has served as a military and political headquarters of the System Alliance from the First Contact War until present. When humanity activated the Karen Mass Relay in 2149, it led to 36 light years. It led to the 36 light years from Sol, Earth's sun. Name I'm not reading again is the 3rd brightest star seen from Earth. It is the... God, sorry, Alexa, I'm falling asleep. It is the ascension, the ancient red giants from the generations before Sol, or from the generation before Sol. Its worlds are either gas giants or ice chunks. While some rocky debris exists, the mantle content is 25% lower than normal. To build the Arcturus station, metallic asteroids were towed through the master relay to the construction site. Many of these asteroids remain near the station. There are mined out areas home to transient populations. The expense of bringing construction materials into the system was acceptable due to the strategic value. With 3 primary mass relays in addition to the secondary one in Sol, architecture is a Arcturus is a major communications and military checkpoint. The Alliance First Fleet is based there, where it can guard the gate to Sol and react to incursions in the 3 connected clusters. The fact that I feel like I'm gonna sneeze is not helping. The station also hosts the System Alliance Parliament and the System Alliance Military General Headquarters. Its permanent population is approximately 45,000. It is actually from the Galactic Halo, one of the clusters of 52 stars, or the stars from the Galactic... The star is actually from the Galactic Halo, one of the clusters of 52 stars from that are crashing through the disk of the galaxy. In 1 billion years, it will be sailing through the depths of extragalactic dark space. Starship crew considerations. Cabins give each individual Cabins give each individual 10 cubic meters of space. One large vessel's private room, or on large vessels, private rooms are common. As ships get smaller, the number of crew packed into a single wardroom increases. Asari prefer shared spaces even on large vessels, while Krogan territorial instinct make it impossible for them to cohabitate even in the small ships. I just realized I never found my Krogan on the ship. I wonder where he is. On smaller vessels, hot bunking is the norm. Crew members assigned to different watches share the same bunk. When one gets off duty, he wakes up the person in the bunk. While that crew member is on duty, the first gets his rack time. Spacecraft compartments can be isolated by airtight doors in case of decompression. The cinematic vision of explosive decompression is fiction. Hold compartments either take enough damage that occupants are killed instantly, or leak slowly enough that they're able to reach protective gear. Compartments are equipped with emergency life support apparatuses. Fireproof plastic bubbles with air bottles, small ones stowed. ELSA comfortably accommodate one individual when inflated. Damage control procedure cuts off ventilation to burning compartments. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling on this so much. Without oxygen to consume, fires die in seconds. The compartments repressurize afterward for crew recovery. Mass effect fields create an artificial gravity, agrav plane, below the deck, preventing muscular atrophy and bone loss in zero-G. Larger vessels arrange their decks perpendicular to their thrust axis. The highest, which is how I do it with my ships. The highest deck are the bow, and the lowest deck are the engines. That's literally how my ships are formatted in Shadow Space. I'm kind of enjoying how much this overlaps with my own sci-fi writing, although it's much more better written than mine. This allows agrav to work with the inertia effect of the thrust. Ships can land and arrange the decks laterally, so the crew can move about while the vessel is grounded. Warships normally turn off their agrav systems during combat, reducing the heat generated by the system and increasing combat endurance. To provide points of reference for navigation in zero-G, floors are painted a different color from the walls and ceiling. I really like that. Communications. Did I not already read this? Communications delay during wartime. Oh, okay, this is just a different thing. Real-time communication is possible thanks to a network of expensive mass relay buoys that can daisy-chain transmission via lasers. Comm buoys are maintained in a pattern built outward from each mass relay. The buoys are little more than clusters of primitive miniature mass relays. Each individual buoy is connected to a partner with a partner on another buoy in the network, forming a corridor of low mass space. Tight beam communication lasers are piped through these tubes of FTL space, allowing virtually instantaneous communication to anywhere in the network. These networks connect across regions by communication lasers through mass relays. So I'm going to take a quick aside to talk about my sci-fi world, Shadow Space. You can watch a campaign of it on the channel. The way that I have things working, ships work almost identical, but my deep space travel is different from the mass relay gates. See, the whole crux of Shadow Space is that humanity, before getting into deep space, discovered dark matter. We discovered how to make dark matter in a Hadron Collider, and we discovered that when dark matter is generated, it rips a small hole to a parallel reality that is similar to ours, but instead of having more matter than dark matter, it has more dark matter than matter. So entering this reality basically instantly vaporizes most things. We then learned how to use dark matter to create energy fields so that we could send things through without them getting obliterated. And what we discovered is a journey of about 1 kilometer in shadow space equates to about a light year in outer space, allowing for deep space travel via entering a parallel reality where travel is different. And deep space communication is done by opening up tiny wormholes and sending a message through to, so wherever you want to send it. Meaning to be hailed over deep space transmission, you have to be leaving your comms open with a constant signal of, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open, you can call me, you can call me, you can call me. And the moment you turn that off, nobody can contact you through deep space transmission. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. Oh yeah, and permanent space stations tend to always be beaming out this signal, and you're able to, generally speaking, send a message out to a deep space transmission base and be like, hey, when my friend re-enters comms, send them this message. Usually at a cost, because the world of shadow space is heavily corporatized. Anyway, with this system, the only communication delay is light lag between source or destination and the closest buoy. So long as the parties remain within half a light second, that distance, of buoys, seamless real-time communication are possible. Since buoys are maintained in all traversed traveled areas, most enjoy unlimited instantaneous communication. Ships only suffer communication lag when operating off established deep space routes around uninhabited outer system gas giants and other unsettled areas. During wartime, comm buoys networks are the first target of attacks. Once the network is severed, it can take anywhere from a week to years to get a message out of a controlled system. In systems where buoy networks have not yet been built or has been destroyed, rapid communication means ferrying information through high-speed courier ships and unmanned data drones. Very cool. Yeah, and this is just more quest stuff. Wait, what? Okay, we will have to look more into all that in a bit. But yeah. That's it for this episode of Mass Effect. Ooh boy, it's been an episode, huh? This game's great. This game's really fucking good. I am fucking exhausted because it is well past the time I normally stop streaming because this episode dragged on longer than I planned. Next time, we'll be properly setting up in what is now our ship. End cards will be appearing in a moment. Love all you very, very much, and ta-ta for now.